Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we do another deep dive into Amazon Prime. So for those of you not familiar with this channel, once a week I go searching through the popular streaming platforms and come up with 10 horror movies to recommend to you guys. This week I went searching through Amazon Prime and came up with 10 horror movies that I think you will enjoy. And with that, let's get to the list! I'm sorry. So Jack Goes Home is a very twisted psychological thriller. So after his father dies, a man played by Rory Culkin returns home to take care of his injured mother. And he slowly starts to question his own childhood memories. He discovers dark truths about his past that take him down a wild path with lots of twists and turns.
Jack. You asleep, Jack? When you're ready. In the attic. When you're ready, Jack. You go up to the attic.
So Rory Culkin is fantastic in this movie, but Lynn Shay honestly steals the show. She just shines in this movie. There is some very upsetting, disturbing scenes that could even be triggering for some people. It just goes very dark and extremely uncomfortable, with absolutely crazy, psychotic moments. It's just a wild ride that I think is worth taking. So Butterfly Kisses is a 2018 found footage mockumentary style horror movie. It's about a filmmaker who discovers a box of videotapes. And on the tapes is a disturbing student film about an urban legend called Peeping Tom. And so he sets out to prove that the footage is real.
Going to go to the radio stations, we're going to the TV stations, we're going to show the footage, and we're going to saturate the market with this information. Then we're going to prove to the world that Peeping Tom exists.
But slowly he becomes absolutely obsessed, as well as the film crew following him. So it's very much a film inside of a film. It becomes very creepy with some damn good jump scares. It's also just very well written and a moving concept, because you just follow this guy who's slowly losing his sanity. But it just keeps twisting and turning all the way to the end. But it's just a really well done movie that feels fresh and unique. And for a found footage film to feel fresh and original, I think that's an accomplishment, because that's a genre that's been done to death. This is just a very underrated movie that I suggest you check out.
I've met my demons, and they are many. I've seen the devil. He is me.
So Oculus is a spooky, haunted ghost story. It's about two adult siblings played by Karen Gillan and Brenton Thwaites, who are haunted by the violent demise of their parents, and they suspect that their antique mirror is behind the tragedy.
My name is Kaylee Ann Russell. The purpose of today's experiment is to prove that the object behind me is responsible for at least 45 deaths in the 4 centuries of its recorded existence.
And the supernatural force that's inside infects anyone who gazes into it. And as the siblings get closer to the truth, they become caught in this evil mirror's spell. This is just a fun, ghosty flick directed by Mike Flanagan. And it's very underrated in my opinion. You just don't hear people talk about this movie. This is just a really well produced movie. It looks great, it's paced well, the whole cast gives a great entertaining performance. I just think if you're in the mood for a fun little popcorn ghost story, this is a great pick. So Stitches is a 2012 comedy slasher. So after a clown is killed at a birthday party, he comes back from the dead to seek revenge on all the partygoers. So the movie focuses on these really unique, colorful teens that are just so funny and entertaining to watch. It's gory as hell with some really well done practical effects, ones that really reminded me of the 1980s horror. Just practical effects you just do not see done anymore. The entire cast just does a great job in this movie and really make it worth checking out. This is a wonderful slasher. For fans of 1980s and 90s horror, this is one I absolutely recommend. So Slumber is a 2017 American-British supernatural horror movie. It's about a sleep doctor who must confront her own nightmares, while she's also battling a parasitic demon who preys on people while they sleep.
You've been experiencing sleep paralysis. Your mind tells you that there's something else in the room. It's all up here, honey. It's all in our imagination.
But it's not just him.
It's all of us.
It just has a unique flair to it to me, because you don't see a lot of movies dealing with sleep demons like The Hag Witch, and this does a really good job of that. It's a well shot movie as well as well paced and directed. Even though the movie slowly builds dread, it never felt too slow where I felt myself getting bored. It keeps you engaged. Another thing that really stood out to me about this movie is the sound design. It gives you chills as well as really adding to the atmosphere. This is a haunting little movie that I think is definitely worth a look.
Bury it in the earth. And join us in the skies.
So Starry Eyes is a beautifully dark, disturbing supernatural film. It's about a hopeful young starlet who uncovers the ominous origins behind the Hollywood elite. And so she enters into a deadly agreement in exchange for fame and fortune.
Sarah, relax yourself.
Sarah, if you can't fully let yourself go, how can you ever transform into something else?
What starts out as a slow burn turns absolutely savage by the midway point. It gets disturbing and dark with a fantastic performance by Alex Esso. It also has a powerful message on many levels, but especially the horrors of Hollywood. This is just a fantastic indie horror movie that I think is an absolute must.
Simon, what have you done?
So Night Hunter is an action-packed horror thriller. It's about a police lieutenant played by Henry Cavill, and his entire team, as well as a vigilante, get caught up in the middle of a dangerous scheme.
The endless voice in a predator's head that says, do it, do it, do it.
Involving a recently arrested troubled man who is linked to the many years of female abductions. This is a great movie for fans of Criminal Minds, but it's not a true blue horror. However, it does get really dark with some very disturbing imagery. It also has an absolutely stellar cast. And it's just so surprising to me that I had never heard of this movie because it's so well done. So if you haven't seen this one, I think it's definitely one to add to your list.
I wouldn't do that if I was you. You'll just end up blowing your damn face off. Then you'll still be depressed. Even more depressed, probably, because of your fucked up face.
So Guns Akimbo is a fantastic, wild action thriller like nothing else. It's about a man named Miles, who's played by Daniel Radcliffe, who is a video game designer, and inadvertently becomes the next participant in a real-life death match that's live-streamed. While Miles soon excels at running away from everything, that won't help him because Nyx, a killer at the top of her game, played by Samara Weaving, is on the hunt.
What the fuck is next?
It's showtime.
This movie is so wild and gory and just over the top in every way. It's funny and fun in just so many ways. I think it's definitely one to check out.
What happened?
I don't know, I don't remember.
So Afflicted is a 2013 Canadian found footage horror movie. It's also written and directed by Derek Lee. So it's about best friends Derek and Cliff who plan to travel the world and live life to its fullest.
All right, I'm Cliff Rose.
And I'm Derek Lee, and tomorrow we're going on a year-long trip around the world!
We're going to film the entire thing. We're going to post it online as a travel blog.
It's gonna be epic.
But only days into their trip, one of them comes down with symptoms of a mysterious illness. So they must rush to find the source before it consumes him completely. I think this is one of the most original, well-done found footage movies ever made. It's surprising with lots of twists and turns, and it still feels real even when you're seeing supernatural elements. This is just an absolute hidden gem and one that I highly recommend.
You have no idea what you've done.
So The Lazarus Effect is an exciting mind bender starring Olivia Wilde. It's about a medical researcher and his fiancée who have achieved the impossible. They have found a way to revive the dead. So after a successful yet illegal experiment on a lifeless animal, they are ready to take their work public. However, when the head of the lab discovers what they have done, he shuts them down. But they're willing to do whatever it takes to finish their research. From there, it just gets wild, with everything just going horribly wrong.
This is crossing a line. This is a human being.
It's a fun, creepy little movie. It's not anything too serious, but it's one just to have a good time with. So if you're looking for a fun popcorn creep out, this is a fun pick. Alright guys, that's gonna do it for me today. Please leave your comments down below. Let me know if there's anything that I should check out on Amazon Prime or anything else for that matter. Also, if you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and ding that little bell, because that is the best way to keep track of this channel. And when I post videos like this, and I post videos like this every single week, I also want to give a huge, massive, enormous thank you to my patrons, because you guys, yeah, your support seriously means so much to me. And if you would like to find out more about becoming a patron, the link is down in the description. And like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember guys, horror can be fun. I will see you guys next time.